This episode of the Old Radio Shop, we have a Philco Model D-10 record player turntable. This is out of a Philco radio record player, and it needs a rebuild because we already know the cartridge is bad. Things are gummed up and stiff. I'm sure the rubber on the idler wheel is bad. Up underneath, things just need to be cleaned. Motor needs to be lubed, and cam needs to be lubed. Levers need to be checked. Capacitor needs to be changed. As I said, this is out of a Philco radio record player. So we're going to clean it up, lube it up, lube the motor, probably change motor mounts, and change the idler wheel. So we've got our instructions and we're going to go for it. So this little turntable has lost all of its flocking. There might be a little bit here on the edge, and it was brown, nice brown color, but it over the years has all worn off. And what I've done with one of these before, strangely enough, is use this static grass made for a model railroad, because you get a whole lot more of flocking material in the jug than you get when you buy one of those reflock kits. And after yes, this is a light green. That was brown. I painted one over brown and it turned out just fine. So that's how I solved the flocking problem for a not too much of a cost. So there we have a reflocked turntable for this Philco D-10. I got a little blemish I need to fix on it, but other than that, that is your reflocked turntable. So on this Philco turntable I'm working on, D10, D-10, there's a little bearing down here for the turntable, and it had 11 ball bearings in it, and then there was another thrust washer that sat on top of it that was hooked, that this sets on top of to rotate the turntable. And in the instructions and riders it's like, be careful, do not lose the 11 ball bearings or the thrust washer out of there or it'll never work right. So I carefully, some of them fell down in the hole when I was working, so I was carefully picking them all up, and somehow one had got up under this thing, and when I lifted it up, it rolled off the back of the workbench back into the abyss and went dink and hit something metal. And I'm like, how am I ever going to find that? Well, I got to digging around afterwards and found it way over on the left side of the workbench underneath, right next to some spiders, which I promptly stomped. And so I have all 11 ball bearings saved. So yes, if you do take one of these apart, be careful, because I'm going to have a hard time putting them back, because there's really not a race for them to stay in there. I'm probably going to have to put some sort of thing up in here to try to keep them from falling back down the hole, a dowel or something, while I put them back before I can put the turntable platter back down and go from there. I'm going to repack this bearing area with some white lithium grease, because the grease is all dried up, and then once we do that on this thrust bearing, that'll quiet that down, because there wasn't any grease in here for these ball bearings to run in at all. Pack some in there, put the first thrust bearing down. Put some grease in here, and maybe these ball bearings will quit falling out. You talk about a pain in the rear, it's these ball bearings falling out. We'll pack them in grease, and then they shouldn't. Still a little bit clanky sounding. Back at the Philco D-10, got the new idler wheel in, and it sounds much better. It's not going clackety 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 like it was. And this is actually the original crystal cartridge that was in it, and it actually has pretty good output. I just thought I would test it while I was testing the drops, and this is what I got. That's the only record that got stuck in the whole stack. So there you have it, a Philco D-10 78 RPM only record changer here on The Radio Shop. Join us next time for even more radio restorations. And you can contact the Old Radio Shop at oldradiorepair@comcast.net if you have any questions. Thanks, and see you next time.